Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Friday, May 29th, 2020, and we are in the final trading day of the week, we're in the final trading day of the month, and we're in the final trading day of the hour, of the day, excuse me. So we have the trifecta of final trading days today. How is everybody doing? I prefer to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, in the last hour, and particularly in the last few minutes. I mention this each day, but I think it's important. I really do. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They start doing the majority of their business right at the close, and they are dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, best technology, best information, and they start to come alive in that last hour. During the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are moving everything around. I consider it more noise than anything. And at the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, start moving the price. And I like to do the majority of my swing trading positions based upon piggybacking on what they are doing. That being said, I did have some day trades today. They were good trades. I'll share those with you in a minute. But anyway, I appreciate you being here. Hey, Quad Racer is here. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Quad. And it was great speaking with you last night during our lesson. And I was really impressed with you and how detailed you got into everything. It was great. So thank you so much for working with me on your lessons. And it was great. I think you have a great future in trading, because you were really sharp with it. Dan, how you doing? Happy Friday, Quad Racer, Greg, and group. Hey, Dan, nice to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Dirk is here. Hello, all. Hello, Dirk. Good to see you, bud. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Kamal, how you doing? Always nice to have Kamal here. Miko25, hello, Greg, and everyone. Hello, good to see you. Wow, what a day. I mean, I go to get a drink and come back and the whole landscape has changed. What a crazy day. Currently, what do we got? Okay, Dow's up 31. It was down like 200. NASDAQ's up 81. It was down. S&P is up 10. It was down. I mean, some of these charts intraday have just been insane, but we'll go through those and take a look. All right. Hey, Zach is here. Good to see you, buddy. Always nice to see Zach. All right. Well, listen, here is the plan for today. This is the format. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I also have a couple day trades that I'm going to share with you that I did intraday. After that, we are going to go through your positions. You've been kind enough, some of you have been kind enough to share those with me, and looking forward to going through those and seeing how they are doing. After that, about the midpoint of the podcast, I am going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. Always important to touch on trader psychology. In my opinion, it's 80% of what you need to get handled and mastered for you to be a profitable trader. The trading portion, the support and resistance, yeah, it's all important for sure, no doubt about it. But really, you learn about trading and technicals and resistance and entries and exits and all that kind of stuff so that you can develop a plan. But following the plan is a whole other challenge. Right. And if you don't follow that plan, you are not going to be a profitable trader. I mean, I hate to be blunt, but that's really what it's about. So I like to spend some time, talk about trader psychology. Hopefully what we discuss each day, hopefully will resonate with you, and you'll start using it and understanding how important it is. After that, we're going to go down through my watch list, each stock one by one. I have 3 requirements when I'm looking to enter a new trade. First requirement, I have to have a confluence or a combination of indicators. The way that I look at it is not necessarily a confluence or combination of indicators, but a confluence and combination of buyers coming in. And you're going to put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other groups of buyers as possible. The more buyers, the better. Right? You don't want to be the only person buying and everyone's selling. That's going to be a little tough to make money. So, I look at different indicators as different group of buyers. If they come together, they have a combination, then it puts you in a better position. 1 second. Katie is, be right back. Okay, here we go. Up, come on. Out you go. All right, sorry about that. She just came and was like, I want out, like right now. Second requirement is I need to have a good risk to reward ratio. It's very important. You can have a really good setup. You can have a really good combination or confluence of indicators, but you have to also have a good risk to reward based upon valid support below you and based upon realistic resistance above you. And the key word there is realistic. And then number three, have to make sure you do not have too many correlated positions. Spread it out, have stocks in different industries. If you have 3 great tech stock setups on the same day, well, if it were me, I'm not going to buy all 3. I'm going to buy 2, or 2 maybe. That's a stretch, but 1 is really what I like to look for. So confluence combination indicators, good risk to reward ratio, and keep in mind what kind of correlation you have in your portfolio and your positions. So we'll go down through the list. I'll look for those 3 requirements. If I find something that qualifies at the end of the day, I'll take the trade at the end of the day. Then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions, needs any clarification, please let me know. I'm happy to answer, happy to clarify. That's why I'm here. If you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols, I'm happy to give you my opinion on that. If there are any stock symbols that you would like my opinion on before the market closes, feel free, put them in the chat, in the live chat. Just put a star by them so that I know they are time sensitive. Okay. And then also after the market closes, if you have any if you've entered any new positions or exited old positions that I have up on the board, please wait until then to tell me. Then the pressure's off after the market closes. All right, so hang tight. Katie wants in again. She wanted out, now she wants in. So I'm going to run the US legal disclaimer and I'll be right back in about 40 seconds. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see, we good with the microphone? Yes, we are. All right, great. Kamal says Roku has a V1 on the weekly over 108.51. Let's take a look. It is definitely working on it, isn't it? Nice higher low V1. I might add also, Kamal, it's happening right at about the halfway of this weekly bar back here in April. That's also a good sign. That is also a good sign. Let me see. I'm gonna write that one down because that's a good one. That's definitely a good one to look at on the weekly. Okay. Moses Gomez, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Matt Waggers, hello, Matt. Good to see you. I appreciate you coming by as well. Frank is here. How you doing, Frank? Frank says, hello, Greg and group. David's here. Hey, buddy, nice to have you here. Quad Racer says, Greg, when you have a moment, can you check if Merck backtests the 520 crossover? It has a V1 and rejected the 50-day EMA. Let's take a look real quick. Okay, you wanted to look at the 520 crossover on Merck. I don't think it backtested well from memory, but let me take a look. Yeah, it does not backtest. It's actually backtest negative. Um, it doesn't, yeah, technically it's a V1 quad, but it's not a good V1 look. This barely washes out yesterday's bar. You know, like we talked about last night, technically it has a V1, technically has a crossover. That is good, and rejected the 50. That is good, but it's right up here above the 1 ATR channel. Has the 100 right here. MACD did go positive. It's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest with you, but I personally wouldn't take that. Bob, hello, Bob. Good to see you. Kamal, Merck does not backtest well. Right. That's what I just looked at. Hey, Steve Burns. Good to see you, my friend. Always an honor and a privilege to have you here, sir. It really is. Hope you and Holly and the dogs are doing well. And also, thank you so much for including me on your list on Twitter today. That's always nice of you. I always appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Nice market bounce back after the Trump talk. Man, this has been crazy. Frank has a poem. All traders must find their way through the market every day. So many stocks to choose that all come down to win or lose. The market gives and the market takes, but the more you know, the more you make. Excellent. Let's try it one more time. All traders must find their way through the market every day. So many stocks to choose that all come down to win or lose. The market gives and the market takes, but the more you know, the more you make. That is correct. And I might add, the more you know about trading, really, when it gets down to it, is keep your losses small and let your winners run. That's in a nutshell. You know, identify support, place your entry. If it closes under that support, get out quickly. If it goes your way, then be patient with it. That's really, I think, what most people need to know about the market. Come on, Greg, Amazon over 1422 can have a modified V2, V3. Would that be a valid signal? Never actually heard of a V3. Honestly, I don't see anything here, Kamal. You could say it was a modified V2 if you have day bar 1, bar 2, and then you have an inside bar, and then it creates a V2 if you disregard the inside bar and just kind of melt it into the bar before. But this, no, I really don't see anything there. Doesn't mean it can't go up. Marco, hey buddy, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice evening in Slovenia. Hope you are well, and hope you have a nice weekend. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks, Greg. Quad says, thanks, Greg. I was considering if it backtested BioPass. Karen, hey Karen, good to see you. Always nice to have you, ma'am. And we need to finish up our lessons when you're ready. No rush, but when you're ready. And Gary M is hi. Gary M is here. Hi, Greg and all. All right, well, let's get to it. Interesting day. I'm still kind of blown away. First position based upon the weekly bars. I did short Amazon last Friday at 24.3168. I shorted this. I don't do a lot of shorting, but I did short this because we rejected the third ATR channel. 92% of prices fail here. We went up. We broke out to the upside to a new range, but then failed and came back in. So it's a false breakout to the downside. It rejected the third ATR channel and also went over 70 RSI in the weekly and closed under. So that has been my trade. I did hit one profit target earlier in the week down here at 23.64. Has rallied off there, but like I said, I shorted at 24.3168. Right now it's at 24.1476, so it is up a bit today, but so far the trade on the weekly is positive all around. So if it closed back above this high over here, if it closed back up into the new higher range, I would go ahead and get stopped out. My initial profit target's down here at the 50 RSI. My ultimate profit target is the 50. All right, what else is on tap? Etsy. So Karen, Miko, and Bing He and myself, we did buy Etsy. This is about a picture perfect trade. This is a return to value trade. You're above the 1 ATR channel. You come down into the value zone. You stop going down. You start going sideways. You have a false breakout to the downside and reversal. This is day 1. Day 2, washed out day 1. Day 2, closed above day one's close, making this a V1 to the downside, V1 to the upside. My stop here is about halfway of this washout bar. I guess that's a little bit about right there. So I did buy at 76.05. Yesterday it was up nicely. I think I hit 2 profit targets yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. 1 or 2, I can't remember. Hit another one up today. It is up 1.81%. It was up near, I think it was over 4% at one point, but I did take some profits off here at 80.24. It's a little lower, but still up 1.88%. So this is a good trade. This is a picture perfect pullback to value, sideways motion, V1. Remember, the sideways motion is very important, everybody. BA, here's another weekly trade. Haven't had a weekly trade for a while. I did buy Boeing last week on Friday. We were below the third ATR channel. We were way down here. We moved sideways. We went under 30, and then the next week we closed over 30. So that was really, well, I had 3 signals here. We went under 30, over 30 on the weekly. We had a V2. Here's bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 2, washed out bar 1, closes above bar 1's close. We also went from under the negative third ATR channel over the negative third. 92% of prices do find support here. So when you go under and then back over, that's a good sign. Bought it here at 137.35. This week I did hit one profit target way up at 153.75. Down today, but still up 6.8% on the day, or on the trade so far. All right, world famous SPY trade. I know this is what everyone looks forward to. Just kidding. But if we do have some new viewers today, I do want to explain this trade to them. I do buy the SPY every day at the close, SPY, ETF tracking of the S&P 500. I buy it every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. Has nothing to do with support or resistance levels. It has only to do with the numbers of this back test. This is from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. They tested 2 different approaches every day since 1993. First approach, buy the SPY in the morning, hold through the day, sell at the end of the day. If you use this approach every day from 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9%. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I've done or do, I buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take the overnight risk, sell the first thing the next morning. If you use this approach, you've actually returned 634.2%. So a big difference between positive 634.2 and a negative 13.9. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. That's true. It may never work again, ever. But since 1993, it has worked really well. And if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be towards something that has good backtested results. You can see the blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Over time, all it's done is gone up. But in between, there are ups and downs, just like with any trading approach. So that's why I use a very conservative position size. In 2019 had a huge year using this approach. This year initially was horrible, but I've had a really, really nice comeback. I've reduced the loss this year 2/3 from the low. So orange line down here, buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. You can see it just doesn't do anything. So really where the edge is in this approach is taking the overnight risk. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. But if you look at the data in the rear view mirror, it wins more than it loses. Obviously, you can see the equity curve. So that being said, I did buy SPY yesterday at the close, 302.97, and did have a small little loss here at 302.46. So little overnight loss on this one, but had a great week using this approach. I will buy this again today at the close, hold it over the weekend. All right, VIX, on to day trades. Here we go. This is on the 5-minute on the VIX. Let me make this bar purple so you can see what I'm really talking about. I bought the VIX here on this 5-minute bar. We came down, we had this sideways motion. Then this bar is really what tipped me off. See how we went below the low of the previous range here? We went below, then back up, which is technically a false breakout to the downside. I didn't buy it just based on that. But then when we started having this huge bullish engulfing bar, I did not wait till the end of the bar to buy it. I bought it, at least I pulled the trigger right here when it triggered the intraday V2 or interbar V2, and it was really zooming up, so I got filled higher, but I got filled higher at 34.44. Just went up nicely. It went more than one ATR for my entry, and then I had to get out here when I had the close below the previous day's low. So, these are not huge dollar trades in the middle of the day, but they do add up. I've had some really good trades lately intraday. So I bought at 34.44 and I sold at 34.66. So 22 cents, not too bad in 5, 10, 15, about 20 minutes. So that was a good trade there. All right, and then trade on Apple. 2 trades on Apple, as a matter of fact. We'll go back to the first one. Where is my trade? Sorry, everybody. Hope I'm making you motion sick here. Here we go. First trade. I saw this big bar go up, had a nice strong break above the 200-day moving average. I didn't want to chase it up here. I wanted to see if I could get a pullback. Then it did pull back. It came right down here, bounced off the 5 EMA. I bought it here at 318.74. Immediately moved up my way, and then I sold it here when it rejected the 50 days. So I bought it at 318.74 and I got out at 319.23. So that was a nice little trade. Then I had another trade over here, and let's see if I can put this into perspective here. All right. Then we had this other big bar. We've had lots of big rocket ship bars. Well, it went up. I didn't chase it up here. I wanted to see if it would come back down to the about halfway of the bar. I was waiting for a pullback. Well, it did, and it also lined up nicely with the 200-day. And so here we had the rejection of the 200 and a V1 closed above. My stop would have been just any close below that for a very small loss. But the key here is that it happened in the 50% pullback fib retracement of this big bar. So I bought it here at 318.67, and then it moved up nicely. This bar concerned me. And then we had this big rocket ship bar up here. It rejected the 100-day moving average, and I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get out. So I got in at 318.67 and got out at 319.85. So over $1 on that trade. And then it just went boom. I was really glad I got out, and I came back from getting a drink and I was like, what is happening? But I didn't buy anything here. So those are the trades. Anthony Evans, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming by. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Bastian is here. Hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a bit. Thank you for coming by. It's nice to see you again. I know that's Bastian's, I think, cousins with Marco. Bonds. Yeah, kind of interesting here, Kamal. What's going on is, see we have the lows here, low, low. Yesterday we had a false breakout to the downside and then back over. So that is a false breakout to the downside. I don't know if it was enough for me to take. Now we have a V2 on top of that. How high did we get RSI wise? 48.26. It didn't reject it yet. I kind of feel like it would be chasing here. You know, Kamal, what I would look for is, now that we're back in the value zone, the people that bought it here, if it gets weak, it will sell off. And then I try to buy the higher low V2, maybe at a little better risk to reward ratio than than chasing here. MACD still negative. We are in the value zone, but it feels a little chasey to me. I would wait for a pullback and look for that higher one, V2 or V1. Bob, LOL, SPY, it may never work ever again. It may never, Bob, right? I say that about every day, but it may never work. We just don't know. IQ. Well, it's a V1, bullish engulfing bar. Closed above, looks like it's going to close above the 5-day EMA, which is good. We had this little bit of a wedge forming here, and we have broken out of it. Let's look at the weekly. Don't like that weekly bar last week. I mean, you know what I'm going to say. It very likely will find resistance right about here, about 1690. Still have some move to run up here. That bar concerns me. There's some good and some bad. Volume, not exceptionally good at the moment, but it will get better. Let's take a look. Here we have a low, here we have a lower low, but see how the MACD bars are lower here than they are here? This is not a MACD divergence, this is a MACD convergence. So this move had stronger momentum to the downside. I don't think I would do anything with that personally, but let me know if you do. Frank says, so much is tied to the S&P as an index that is literally linked to the future growth of America. That is true. Pinsey and Company, I had a very similar trade on Apple as your second Apple trade. Earned $1 per share. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Oh, again, I forgot. Karen, Miko, and Bing He are also in Etsy. Oh, I think I did actually mention that. Pinsey and Company and MA are also in Boeing. So we've had a nice trade on Boeing. And okay, now let's get to everybody else's trades. Glenn had a nice trade here with a rejection of the 50-day moving average on Netflix back on 527, bought it at 403.16. Right now it's at 416.16, 416.66. Congratulations, Glenn. Nice. GIB, Kamal and Frank had a nice trade at 62.18. V1, bullish engulfing bar, higher low V1. Good entry, good trade. This is up to 63.69. So Kamal and Frank, nice. Quad and Bing He took a hedge yesterday at 519. It was up much higher earlier before all this drama happened. HDGE is essentially if you're betting against the market. So when the market was down earlier, it was up higher. But you guys are still in the money so far, so that's good. XLUMA, look at this beautiful. I don't know why I didn't take this trade. This is a beautiful trade. Bullish engulfing bar, V1, washes out this bar, closes above, also false breakout to the downside from this range. Went down, right back up. Next day, almost closed back under, but held. And look at this beautiful trade on this for MA. Let's see. Up about 7% on that trade. Nice trading. Nick, haven't seen Nick for a bit, but he did buy 1850 calls expiring today on Pinterest, which is PINS. So he is definitely in the money. He'll probably be closing that out today, but he probably made a nice little chunk on that. So very nice. SSO, wow, this has been crazy. Steve Burns did take this with the 1050 EMA crossover back here at 115.45. Initially went down, sideways, went up, then reversed yesterday, was down today, and then rallied back up. Has a V1 up here, right? So Steve is up nicely on this trade. About 4.5% or so. So excellent, Steve. Quad. Let's see. Quad did buy plug back on the 27th at 433. Looks like a V1. Hit one profit target the very next day, reversed back under, was down lower. Now it's reversing here. So it looks like he's still holding his stop. Karen and MA, beautiful trade here on USO, sideways motion, trigger with the V1 at 29.49, went rocketing up and pulled back a little, up again today. Kamal also had this trade. I also had this trade. I actually ran out of my shares up here, but Karen and MA still in it and up about 20.6%. So fantastic. BGS. Okay, so Bing, he did buy BGS back on the 27th at 23.04, rocketed up, bounced right off his entry, closed above. So he is still positive on that trade at the moment. And lastly, we have Steve Burns. Steve Burns did buy DDM, which is the double leverage Dow. He bought it at 39.27 with the 1050 EMA cross. Immediately went up, reversed. Earlier today, it was looking pretty nasty and then back up. So he bought it at 39.27. It is 39.48. So all around, pretty good for everybody today. Pretty good. This has been a really good week. Very thankful for that. Okay. Frank says TLT has been on my radar for the last few days as well. Yeah, me as well. I've been watching it here. I just, who knows? It could go rocketing up, but unless I buy lower down here near 30 or lower, I don't like to chase too much when we get up to 50, right? Who knows? This might keep going. A lot of volume today. That's a good sign, but I prefer to buy higher low V1s, V2s when it goes back into the value zone. Because the people that bought here, yeah, it's moving up nicely, but if it gets weak, it will put a lot of selling pressure on. And, that could tend to make it go back down. Then I'd want to buy that higher low V1, V2. Kamal says, Greg, you lost my AGQ. I thought you were out of silver. Kamal, you're not? Sorry. It got a little confusing with me because we had AGQ and silver, and we had some people getting in and some people getting out. Oh, not QLD. AGQ. Oh, here it is. I still had it. I just had it off here. Look at this trade, everybody. This is the monster trade of all monsters. Sorry, Kamal. I didn't do that on purpose. Kamal bought this back here 21.39 when we had the 520 EMA crossover on SLV, but he expressed the trade in AGQ. Look at this. He did sell half here. He sold half when it closed below 200. He is up 39.36%, up 5.93 today. Congrats. Really congrats, Kamal. That's, I think, no, it's not the largest trade. I can't remember. Our friend had that almost 100% trade, but this is a monster trade, and it shows you the benefits and the advantages of using a crossover trade and what can happen when you use a good crossover. And this was a monster. So brilliant. Kamal must have had a monster month. Okay. So listen, before we go down through my watch list, before we start taking a look at potential entries today, I do like to do a few minutes every day on trader psychology. There's some really good Twitter channels, Facebook channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy, burn a lot of calories on posting good sayings, important good sayings about philosophy, trading philosophy, good trading words of wisdom, trading psychology. And one of my very favorites, our really good friend Steve Burns, who's in the chat with us right now. This is over on Facebook. This is his Facebook channel, New Traders, Rich Traders. If you haven't subscribed, it's a great channel on Facebook. I mean, it's pretty serious. They post great things, but let's see what Steve has to say. Trading is one job where you can make more money through inaction and patience, letting a winner run and waiting for the right entry. Boy, is that true. We always feel like, we have to make things happen, do something all the time to get ahead. But in trading, it's counterintuitive. You can make the most money just by doing nothing, right? Trading is one job where you can make more money through inaction and patience. That doesn't work in a lot of other occupations: letting a winner run and waiting for the right entry. Those are the skills: being patient, waiting for the right entry, and then when you have it, letting the winner run. Just like the trade we have over here for Kamal. This is a perfect example. He was patient. He waited for the trade to come to him. He just waited and waited and waited for the crossover to happen. He took the trade, and he has been patient. Look at this. It's almost a 40% move. Almost a 40% move. So I can't think of a trade that is more apropos to what I'm talking here about. Steve's saying, be patient. Let the trade come to you. Don't force it. Look at the charts, identify the charts, and say, oh boy, next week, if this stock maybe goes down here, that would be a good confluence of signals. Don't buy it now. Don't rush. Be patient. Wait for it to come there. Then if it comes there, take the trade. If you're wrong, get out quickly. If you're right, have patience with the trade. Right? I mean, that's kind of an generalized statement. Just be patient with the trade. I mean, you have to know when to get out. You have to know maybe when to take profits. You have to see when there's red flags in the trade. But the trade plan for Kamal was ride this baby up. When it got over the 200, he sold half here. I'm not exactly sure what his trade plan is for the other half, but beautiful trade, Kamal. Sorry to leave you out, buddy. I did not do that on purpose. At 5.79%. This is a monster. So anyways, thank you, Steve Burns. Really appreciate it, my friend. And let's read it one more time because it's important. Trading is one job where you can make more money through inaction and patience, letting a winner run and waiting for the right entry. I agree. Thank you so much, Steve. Okie dokie, Smokey. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Bing, he says, Kamal, why AGQ reject 200 SMA, but you didn't exit? Bing, I don't know this for sure. I don't want to speak for Kamal, but he is basing his exit, I believe, on the SLV chart, not the AGQ chart. And his stop was, I believe it was a close below 200-day moving average. On the SLV, you can see it's still above. So I believe that's what's going. Kamal says, I'm going off SLV. Okay, so he's to the 5 EME now. Great. Kamal says, CVX has V1 with lots of sideways motion. Let's take a look. I mean, kind of, but not really, Kamal. I mean, when I'm looking for the sideways movement, I'm looking for the sideways movement of the recent bars on the V1. Yeah, it's a V1, but this was not sideways movement. You're talking about this kind of whole thing, which I understand. But in the recent days, it was down and down and down and up. So I really wouldn't consider this sideways motion. Tim Bates is here. Hey, Tim. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. But thank you so much. Frank says, home run, Steve. That was a monster trade. It was an unbelievable monster trade on silver. All right, so I had my little VIX trade. Let's get out of that. Let's see what's happening with the VIX here intraday. Woof, look at this drama. Okay. All right, so listen. I am going to go through the charts now. Going to go down through, see if there's something that looks good for the end of the day. Do want to remind myself, and I want to remind everyone else, if they are placing a trade today on anything, like Diana Cooper says, please choose wisely today. Make sure you have a good confluence of signals. Make sure you have a good clean chart, easily identified stop, easily identified resistance level. Make sure you position size correctly if you're going to take the trade. But all in all, before you take a trade, just please choose wisely. And that goes for me as well. Okay. And here we go. Apple. Oh, I had those day trades on Apple. All right. Nothing on the daily that I really want to buy here. We actually still had a false breakout to the upside from this high over here. We're still underneath that. Is up a bit today, but I'm waiting for a pullback into value, sideways motion, like I've been talking about, V1, V2. So like I was just talking about, when you see something and go, this would probably be a decent buy in next week if it comes down here. Well, I'll just have to wait for it to come back down here. I don't want to be buying up here. There's a lot of just, ups and downs here. I want to buy that pullback. Adobe, strong today, but same with Apple. I'm waiting for a pullback into the value zone. All right, Amazon I have, of course, this is the daily chart here, but I did take it on the weekly with the rejection of the 70 RSI, the rejection of the third ATR channel, the false breakout to the upside. My trade navigator just went out. I am trying to reload it. Sorry, everybody. I mean, it just went out for no reason. Here, we can look at Steve's thing here. Wow, why did that go out? That was crazy. I hope this comes back. It's loading up, so we'll see. Man, I hope this comes back. That was strange. I've had it freeze before, but not just flick off like that. All right, I think it's back. Come on now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, Boeing. I still have Boeing. Took it on the weekly. V2 under 30, over 30. Still up 6.31%. Did hit the one profit target. It's up here on the daily. Not looking so good, but still okay. If I had been trading this off the daily, I would be getting out today, but I'm trading on off the weekly, so it's a little different story. Alibaba. Oh, look at that. That looks pretty good. I mean, look, we came down to support over here. We did have a bullish engulfing V1. Looks like we had a 520 crossover. I believe that back test well, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look over here and see. That might be something for today, actually. 520 does back test well. Interesting. All right, earlier in the day, nothing really looked interesting, but let's see. So Alibaba is definitely a potential for me today based upon the back test, and also this bullish engulfing bar and V1 rejection of the 50, all that. It looks good. Honestly, it looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks good actually. Let's see. Where was I? All right, so Alibaba looks okay. I'm gonna have to go through these pretty quick. Berkshire Hathaway is just way too extended for me to buy. I was looking to buy down here. I just never got my signal. Beyond Meat, pull back into value. 1 day of sideways motion, not enough for me to buy there. Caterpillar, I did have a nice trade on Caterpillar. I bought it right here when we had the 520 crossover. Immediately went down sideways, then had 3 beautiful days up, 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 up. I got out yesterday when we had that V1 to the downside, rejection of the third ATR channel, rejection of the 100. So that was a really nice trade. Carnival is down today. We got a little extended, but down here in the value zone, catching support over here. This is where I would look to buy the dip. DDM now down just a touch, but Steve is still up on the trade, so congrats, Steve. Disney, Karen and Steve had a nice trade on Disney, I believe, here. Gapped up immediately, moved up. Yesterday, I think Steve and Karen got out, but still with the profit. And looks like so far so good because that is down further. Etsy, we have Etsy. Boy, Etsy's been a great trade for Karen, Miko, and being he myself. This is a picture-perfect example of strong move up, return to value, sideways motion. Kamal, this is what I'm talking about, sideways motion. Sideways motion like this, not kind of up and down and then a V1. I mean, this is real sideways motion. And we also, look, here's the low of this range. We had a false breakout to this range. We had a false breakout to this last bar. We rejected the last bar and the whole range all in one fell swoop, and whoop. So up 2.62% today. Fantastic. Facebook doing really strong, made all-time high a few days ago. Needed to come back here in the value zone. Gold doing really well. I was waiting for a trigger on gold. It did come into the value zone, but we didn't get any sideways motion. It did have a V1 2 days ago, which would have turned out, but there was no sideways motion whatsoever. Usually when you have a move down and then an immediate bounce, you'll get a bounce of a day or two before you turn back around. I don't know if that's going to happen, but really what I'm looking for on gold now is the 5 to cross under the 20 and back over. Okay, I'm going to go down through these kind of quick. Google, nothing on Google. Goldman Sachs. Steve and Kamal and everyone had a great trade on Goldman Sachs right here, I believe, or here. I can't remember. I think it was here. And rode it up. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful, huge trade, and then got out yesterday with the rejection of the 200. Home Depot, need a pullback. IBB, V1, but too high and kind of a mess. Intel, certainly building a range here. Don't know if it's going to break up or down. Russell 2000 is down today again. This had a big move, looking for a pullback into the value zone. How am I doing on time? I better hustle. J&J, woo, look at that. Beautiful. CarMax, too high. Coca-Cola, pull back into the value zone. That's what I'd be looking for. Lockheed Martin. Come on, remember I was going to sell puts on Lockheed Martin at the 200 expiring today. Seems like it would have worked out, but there wasn't enough liquidity in the puts. MasterCard, pull back into value. Nice pullback into value at the same time we're at the 200-day right here would be an excellent risk to reward ratio. McDonald's, no. Merck, we talked about that. I mean, there's a little bit of a V1. We do have a crossover. MACD went positive. That's all good. You have this 100-day just sticking right in your face here. I just don't think that offers a good risk to reward ratio. Microsoft up nicely today. Netflix up nicely for Glenn. Nike's been a monster. Pull back into the value zone. Look at the confluence here. 100-day, 200-day, 20 EMA in the value zone. This is what I'm talking about. Identifying this, waiting for it to come back and being patient until it gets there. Philip Morris down a bit today, looking for a pullback. PayPal, just too high for me up here. Q's, big reversal, too high, pullback. Silver, Kamal's having a monster day. Well, he's on AGQ, so he's twice this. SPY, I had a little overnight loss on that one, but I will be buying this again today at the close. Steve with the nice SSO trade, up nicely today. Teladoc, yeah, here's a V2, but look, this is not sideways motion. This is, here's sideways, but now it's down. Yeah, it's rallying a bit here, but we closed below the 1 ATR channel in the value zone. Now I would just, people that bought down here or have their finger waiting to waiting to push the button and to get out of this if they see weakness. And when it does, it will cause it to go down. I'd rather get a right about here, higher low V1 with rejection to 1 ATR channel. TLT, we talked about that. That's still moving on up, but it's getting real close to that 50. So Tesla, nothing really there. Twitter, down today. I almost took a day trade on Twitter, but I didn't. But, you know, we've come down quite a bit. Kamal, what an exit on Twitter for Kamal, because Kamal had a monster trade right here. Went up initially, went down a little bit, and then he had a run. But he got out here, if I remember correctly. UAL, looks like all the airlines are down today. UNG, oh, I kind of like that. Look at this. We have a false breakout to the downside of this range, and we have a V1. I do kind of like UNG. And they're not correlated. So let me quickly do some numbers here. I went through all these earlier, but I just didn't see anything that even looked good. But then we had this huge reversal, and now I have some things that look good. All right, 8 minutes. Oh, man. All right. United Healthcare, new, oil, good for Karen and MA. Dollar still weak. VIX. Man, this thing has been all over the place today. Verizon, nice V1 bullish engulfing, MACD crossover, but it's a little too strong of a move. I need to pull back. Walgreens, no. Walmart, it's a V1. You know, we had some sideways motion. This bar, but then we came right back up. I don't know. I don't like it as much as some of the other ones. Energy down, back down to the value zone. Financials down a bit today. Real estate down a smidge. MA's doing great on her utility trade. Healthcare and Zoom. Never know what Zoom's doing. Zooming. Zoom is zooming. Wow, up 9%. All right, so what I am looking at today is UNG and Alibaba. All right, Alibaba has the crossover, bullish engulfing. Looks pretty good. UNG, I really do like this V1 and this false breakout to the downside here. I do like that. Let's look at the weekly. Well, weekly has the false breakout down there. MACD is positive. This is a double bottom with a bullish divergence. See how deep the bars are? Then we have a rally with green. Anthony, if you're listening, right? Red bars here. Rally back up with green. Now we're lower. No red bars. Missing right shoulder, right? All right, 5 minutes. I am not in the mood to wait to the very, very last second because I have to do this in so many accounts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and buy BABA. And I'm also going to go ahead and buy UNG. I don't usually take 2 trades in one day, but these are, you know, completely uncorrelated. All right, done there. time. All right, that's that. So I bought BABA and UNG. Now, let me look at my current position, see if anything has to be changed. Ooh, Amazon. So I am short this now. This is slightly underwater. Boeing is doing okay. There's no change there on the day, on the weekly. Etsy doing really well. And SPY, nice and green here. So I will be buying that, of course, at the end of the day in the overnight SPY trade. Let's take a look at Roku. Oh, that's Riley. All right, what's happening? Oh, I already had Roku up here. Sorry, Kamal, I didn't have that. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all these trades. Sorry, everybody. All right, well, the BABA's doing pretty well so far. Glenn says, hi, Greg. I closed my position on CRM this morning following the disappointing guidance. Okay. Still nice positive trade for Glenn. Congratulations, Glenn, and glad that you got out a half before earnings came out. Quad says, I like UNG as well. Pincy says, CVS, lots of sideways motion and forming a B1 today. 100-day SMA caused some problems. Oh, Roku on weekly. But don't you have the trade yesterday, don't you, Kamal, on Roku? Anyway, when the market closes, let me know. But yes, you're right. Roku is on weekly. All right, I'm going to get rid of pins. That was Nick's 1850 calls. Fantastic. Haven't seen Nick, but he's doing well. But I'm going to get that on there to clear up some space. One minute left in the week, left in the day, and left in the month. So end of the trading month. Wow. So on my clock, looks like we have about 30 seconds left. I already bought UNG and I bought Alibaba. Pincy and Co said, I was watching FLIR too. My mom works at FLIR. FLIR Systems. Yeah, strong day today. I just don't quite see a trade there, unfortunately. Okay, the market's closed. I know there's a delay between when I speak and yeah, you do have Roku. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. So I am currently slightly underwater on Amazon, but actually probably not because I took profits here. I bought it at, yeah, so I'm $2 underwater on the trade as whole, but made about 60 points to the downside on that profit target. So that's fine. Boeing is fine, up 6% still. Etsy, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, up 3.98%. And then SPY, I took the little overnight SPY trade. So listen, if you have any other questions, if you need clarification, if you would like to tell me about any new entries or exits you have so we can update the board, we'll do that. But just real quick, before we get to that, I have to do my little commercial. Just let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've been trading for 24 years. I've studied one-on-one with some great teachers and mentors. like our friend Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerr Lavorne, Larry Williams. I've studied one-on-one with each one of these gentlemen, and they're all great traders in their own right. They have different approaches, and that's why I chose so many different people, because I wanted different approaches. So in the course that I teach you everything that I've learned from my experience, and then also from my teachers and mentors that I just mentioned. The course I offer is 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. It's one-on-one. It's pretty intense, and it's a long time, but I really feel like in order to really be able to teach someone to trade well, you have to work with them for hours, honestly. And I think one-on-one is the best way to teach. So that is why I teach it that way. I've had a lot of clients this year. I think they've done really well. Like last night, Quad Racer, that was our final lesson. But boy, was I impressed with him yesterday when we were doing all of our simulations yesterday and going through chart after chart. But anyway, if you take the course, I'm sure you'll be able to do that as well. It is $1,000. I tried to price it, somewhat affordably. I think it's worth a lot more. Honestly, I think it's worth every penny for the attention that you get and the repetition. But if you're interested, please reach out to me. What I like to do is I like to have a Skype call with a prospective student. It's not a sales call, I promise you. I'm there to answer questions about the course, get an idea of what your goals are, and then you can, and I'd like to ask you some questions too about your trading and your goals and, your experience and so forth. And, if we decide that we're going to be a good fit for each other, then we'll get it scheduled. But it's not a sales call. I promise you, it is not a sales call. It's just a get to know you call, see if we're compatible. So if you're interested, send me an email. The email's in the description of this video, and you can also send me a message on Twitter, and then we'll line up a Skype call. We'll talk, and if it's of interest on your end and my end, we'll go ahead and schedule it. If not, then it was at least nice to meet you on Skype and put a face with the name. And then if you like today's podcast, as always, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to build the channel. The thumbs up button is a big deal for the channel, for any YouTube channel, with the interaction and engagement. So if you could be so kind, if and only if you like the content today and if you're learning something and find it a good channel, I would really appreciate that if you could click on that before you get out of here. So, all right, that's it on the my commercial side. Like I said, I try to teach for about an hour and a half and have a 3-minute commercial. So I hope that's okay with you. All right, real quick, let's take a look. Where did I get filled? So I bought UNG at 11:32, and I bought SPY at 3:04:32. Is that right? Yep, 2:32. All right. So SPY for the overnighter, 3:04:32. Baba. Oops. Oh, I didn't write down my Baba. Okay, Baba at 2:06:69. All right. $206, 2:06:69. All right, well, that one's in the money already. Let's see, so I got SPY, 3:04:32, yep, and then UNG. And I got UNG at 2:06. No. Come on, Greg, get it together. 11:32. With this V1 and this false breakout of this previous range over here. Boy, I haven't traded natural gas for a long time, but I do like that setup. All right, Baba, yes. 520 crossover, bullish engulfing bar. Amazon's the weekly trade. All right. And then SPY got the overnight trade there, and UNG here. All right. So that's that. Boy, Etsy rallied like champion at the end of the day, didn't it? Okay. So, looks like Karen is in UNG. David is in Alibaba. Pincy & Co. is in Alibaba. Okay. Man, I have a silver computer and I have the lights above me. I can never see the numbers. All right. Bing He took WB. At 30.63. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, Bing He, because you have this lower range here, false breakout to the downside, reversal back up, V1, rejection of the third ATR channel. I like that a lot. Kamal has UNG as well. Zach has UNG. Okay. Karen's, David's, and Baba. Yep. Okay, WB, we got that. Baba. Kamal says, I am going to a little review. Greg's trading class is awesome. You should take it. Thank you, Kamal. Appreciate that, bud. It was great working with you, but thank you very much. It's I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Boston says, thanks, Greg, for today. Have a nice weekend. You too, sir. Appreciate you being here. Have a good weekend. Quad says, now that we are past 4 p.m., am in Baba and UNG today. Still in plug and hedge from previous. All right, so quads there. In Baba and UNG. All right. Let me save this. Kamal says, Greg, quick question. On the Roku chart, was day before yesterday a valid test false breakout to the downside as compared to the low of April? So April 15th here, you're asking whether or not this... You know, Kamal, it is technically a false breakout from this range. It held the gap. You know, false breakouts to the downside and double bottoms with bullish divergences or bearish divergences, in my experience, they're best when they happen within 30 days of each other. This was like 90 days ago. So I think to answer your question, was it a valid, it was a false breakout to the downside of this low, there, no doubt. Was it a great one? No, it probably was only by a penny or two. So technically it's a false breakout to the downside, but not a really good one. And the false breakout to the downside was so long ago. I would prefer it to be, you know, like here, like Bing He. See the false breakout to the downside that was very recent compared to Roku's, which is way over here. So 30 bars, this, am I looking on the, maybe on the weekly am I supposed to be looking? As compared to the low on April 15th, exactly 30 bars away. Isn't, I mean, this is 24, this is 60 bars away right here, right? This 2 months ago. Maybe I messed that up, Kamal. Maybe if you could ask again, or sorry. Glenn says tech and healthcare, XLX and XLV back leading the markets with banks, industrials, and small caps weak. Yeah, there's been rotations, hasn't there? Sometimes one industry is strong and then they rotate to the other. Dan, my IRA wouldn't let me buy UNG, but I'm with Yang in spirit. All right. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's the first time I bought UNG for a long time, but nice false breakout, nice V1, real clean stop if I'm wrong. Bob is in UNG also. Okay. Pincinco, same story here, Dean. Yep. Miko has UNG. Okay. And Baba. All right, let me do a little checky check over here. So, any other updates for me? Any other new possible entries or exits? Try to get this board correct. Quad says, got to run to a meeting. Thank you, Greg and group, for a great session as always. Hope everyone has a safe and fun weekend. Thank you, Quad. Appreciate that. Enjoy your meeting and have a good weekend as well. All right. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Baba really took off, didn't it? Wow. So Alibaba long, Amazon short. bowing long on the weekly. Etsy, it's been really good trade so far. That's a long one. The overnight tester, or the overnight trade on SPY, and then a little natural gas. Marco, have an amazing weekend all. Thank you, Marco. Appreciate it. So I am going to go for a hike unless anybody has any other questions. Take little Katie out. And a good friend of mine from like 30 years ago, we just happened to meet up in the mountains. And so I'm going to meet her later, go for a little hike and do a little catch up. That'll be kind of fun. All right. Well, I think we got everything. What a reversal. Things were looking pretty ugly earlier, but turned out all right. Turned out all right. Oh, Apple actually ended up down today? Wow, look at that. Big whoop, and then right back down. Wow, the SPY's up $1.38 after hours. Interesting. All right. Well, listen, thank you all for coming by. I appreciate it. Just want to leave you off with two things. One, please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or a hello. Just something nice. Try to make somebody's day. Just be pleasant at the very least, right? We need more of that. And then two, again, if you like today's podcast, if you could, on the way out of here, if you could hit the thumbs up button, I would certainly appreciate that. Bing He says, Greg, UNG only has a V1 and rejection of previous low. Is that enough signal? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I wouldn't buy the V1 here just by itself, but because it also had a false breakout from this previous range, that increases the quality score basically of this trade, right? So that's how I look at it. You know, I may not take an entry just based on one signal alone. You know, this is a nice V1, no doubt about it. But really, what if we didn't have the false breakout from here, see how we went down and then back over, I wouldn't have just taken this by itself. But because it's a false breakout to the downside here and the 30 ATR channel was over here, yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's a good signal, and it's a nice thing I like about this. Halfway the washout bar right here is very close to the support of here to below us now, this line. So if it fails, I don't want anything to do with it. But so far, I mean, it's reacted pretty well. Bing He says, thanks. You're welcome, bud. Alan C. Hey, how you doing? Just started following you, and I sure do appreciate your time and help. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. If I can help you in the future, just type a question in. And also, you know, on my YouTube channel, Alan, I have a lot of lessons, and they're totally free. I teach everything that I teach here, but, you know, a little bit more specific. So it's under the lessons section in my YouTube, but they're all free, you know, and if you get some time, maybe you could watch those. I think it would help you with this, know a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Zach says, Greg, if you have 1 minute before you can run, can you tell me what a false breakout means again? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Zach. I don't have that minute, buddy. Okay. So there's two ways to think about a false breakout, Zach. Anytime we have a V1, it's a false breakout of the previous day's low, right? We have bar 1, we have bar 2. Bar 2 goes below bar 1 and then closes above. I think you know that, right? V1, we have a washout of the previous day's low, and reversal back up. That means today washed out yesterday's low and reverse back up. That is considered a false breakout of the last bar. But sometimes you have groups of bars that you can have a false breakout from. See, we have the low here and then it came up. See this range? I'm not talking about just one bar. I'm talking about this whole range. And then today we had a false breakout from the low of the previous range and then back up. So on a V1, we wash out the previous bar close above. But here, we're not just washing out the previous bar's low, we're washing out this whole group of bars low. See? This is the previous range in the blue. See how today we poked our head under and came right back up into the range? So two things happen. We had a false breakout from yesterday's low and reversal, and we had a false breakout of this entire range of bars. Does that make sense, Zach? If it doesn't, let me know. Alan says, yes, I've been through them. Thanks again. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. Zach says, yep, understand the V1. So it's just the same. The V1 is just a false breakout from the last bar, the low of the last bar. The false breakout of a range is the washout of a whole group of bars and then back up. I got it now. Thank you. It's important. False breakouts are very important. I learned that from Dr. Alexander Elder, and especially if they happen with double bottoms. When they have bullish divergences also. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. So, all right. Well, listen, this was a great trading month. This was great. I think it was my best month of the year, and I'm grateful for that. And it was a really good week as well. And so next month is June. It seems to me that every month has its own trading personality. So it'll be interesting to see what June brings. But as always, regardless of what month you're trading in, identify proper support, place your trade, position size correctly, place your trade, get out quickly if you lose that support. If it goes your way, be patient, stay with it as long as it's acting well, right, to the upside. Because the whole key to profitable trading is keeping your losses small and being able to let your winners run. And if you can identify good support and get out quickly, that's the hard part. It sounds easy, but people's egos take over and they want to stay in when they're wrong, right? I'll go into this more next week, but most people are patient. They're hopeful when they're in a losing trade. They hope it will turn around, and they're fearful when they're in a winning trade. It should be the opposite. You should be fearful when you're in a losing trade, and you should be hopeful when you're in a winning trade. All right, that is it. So have a good weekend. Be good, be safe, study your charts, right? Give your dog a treat, take it for a walk. And I really appreciate everybody being here. Okay. So I will see you Monday, last hour of the day. All right. Take care now, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.